I would like to welcome you all to Astronaut Story Time. It's very exciting. And what's happened is that astronauts on the International Space Station are reading us picture books in space. So they've recorded a lot of videos of them reading these books, and it's really fun, and we're going to get to see what the International Space Station looks like. Does anyone know what the International Space Station is? Yeah. In space, if you look up, there's things that orbit around us, like the moon, for example, is something that orbits around us. Anyone else know what orbits around us and Earth, around Earth in space? You're right. Every planet orbits around the sun. You're absolutely right. And so the Earth orbits around the sun, and the moon orbits around Earth. So that's really cool. We also have satellites that your cell phone uses that orbits around. And the International Space Station is something that a lot of different countries made. And a lot of different countries send people up there to study things in space. All right? So let's get started. We're going to watch a few of these picture books that are being read to us. Then afterwards, we're going to do a few different crafts. For example, we're going to make constellations with marshmallows and toothpicks. Or we're going to make little rockets out of straws. So you can decorate your rocket how you like. Or we're going to make astronaut helmets out of paper bags so that you can be an astronaut. And when you leave, don't forget to please take these awesome Wellesley Free Library backpacks that are filled with our summer activities calendar, a special pin that we made for you, and a few other fun things. And if you're interested in more space books, we have a new space books display in the children's room, and as well, you can check out any of those books and take any of those flyers. All right, let's go ahead and get started.
Welcome to Storytime from Space, a project of the Global Space Education Foundation. To learn how you can support this exciting project, please visit storytimefromspace.com.
Welcome to Storytime from Space. My name is Serena Anand-Chancellor, on board Expedition 56 on the International Space Station. Welcome from home, welcome from your local library, wherever you may be today, even your school. Welcome on board the International Space Station. And today we're going to be reading A Moon of My Own by Jennifer Ruski. But just to tell you where we are right now, we are inside our airlock on board the ISS. And this is where we do all of our spacewalks from. And today I'm going to be reading the story to you next to two of my good friends, Spacesuit number 1 and Spacesuit number 2. And these are the special suits we put on to protect us outside in the vacuum of space when we do our spacewalks. And you may think, well, where do we leave the space station from to do that spacewalk? And it is right behind me in this tunnel right over here. You can't see it. We got a lot of equipment in there, even a little pair of feet sticking out. That's another suit over there. But when it's time for us to do a spacewalk, we clear all of that out and put the two astronauts inside and close this big hatch right here. And then they go outside the door safely. This is a really neat place to be. We get very excited when we get to come in this area because we know we're about to do a spacewalk, and it's a lot of fun. Let's get started. A Moon of My Own. Hey there, Moon. There you are again. I wonder, why do you follow me? Are you feeling lonely? And look, she's looking at the moon, and the moon is near the Eiffel Tower in Paris. I can be your friend, she tells the moon. I love to go on adventures. I think you do too. You must be very bright. I never tell you where I'm going, but somehow you always find me. And where is she now? Look at all these animals, giraffes and elephants. I think she's in Africa on a safari, and the moon is still following her. Each night you seem a little different from the night before, but I always know it's you. And that's true. As the moon goes through its different phases, it looks different each night. Some nights you dart in and out of view. Are you playing hide and seek with me? And look, she thinks the moon is playing hide and seek. The moon is hiding behind a cloud. She's trying to find the moon. Just when I think you don't want to be found, your light comes shining through. And here from the space station, we see the moon too outside our beautiful windows in the cupola. And it is so bright and so beautiful. Other nights, you're bold and bright, a spotlight in the darkness that makes hidden things appear. And that's true. Some nights the moon is so bright, it lights up the entire night sky. One night, you were so gigantic you seemed to swallow up the sky. I felt like I could reach up and grab you. But my favorite is when the sky comes alive with colors. Do you do that just for me? And what she's looking at is something called the aurora. And we see the aurora up here on the space station, and they're beautiful green, almost like fingers reaching from the Earth's surface. And that's one of the most beautiful things we've seen up here. We only see it over certain parts of the planet. Not every part on the planet can see an aurora. No matter how far away I go, you're right there with me. I like having you around. Who do you think she's with right now? What does that look like? It's a bunch of penguins. And when I'm tired, you are there to guide me home. I'm really lucky to have a moon of my own. It was really fun. Story time from space. Today, reading you A Moon of My Own. I hope you enjoyed your time on board the International Space Station with us here in the airlock and my two spacesuit buddies. They really enjoyed the story. I hope you did too from wherever you're at today. So long from ISS.
Thank you for joining us for Storytime from Space. We hope you enjoyed our story today from the International Space Station. We hope you'll join us again soon for another book reading or for one of our science experiments.
What did you think of that story? Awesome. Why is everything floating around in there?
Because there's no gravity.
There's no gravity in space. If you go up there, all your hair will float around.
My hair doesn't.
So we're going to read one more picture book, and it's called The Incredible Journey Home.
Welcome to Storytime from Space, a project of the Global Space Education Foundation. To learn how you can support this exciting project, please visit storytimefromspace.com.
Hi, my name's Tim and I'm an astronaut on board the International Space Station. Now behind me is a very special door. This door here. We call it an airlock. And that airlock leads out into outer space because we're currently orbiting planet Earth about 400 kilometers up in space. And today's book is all about space and a young boy called Rory and his friend the robot Hubble who go on a great adventure. This is called The Incredible Intergalactic Journey Home. Two friends were on a secret trip. Through deepest space they flew, 1 billion light years from their home, and guess what? No one knew. They were having just the best time and drinking lemonade. The robot's name was Hubble, who said, "Look what I've made." "That's my name," said Rory, as he gazed about in awe at stars, black holes and planets, and a hurtling meteor. Uh-oh, danger, Hubble cried. Take evasive action. The meteor streaked past them and missed by just a fraction. Their lemonade went everywhere, a frothy fizzy foam, and wrecked their ship's computer, which knew the way back home. The two friends drifted silently, as lost can be. What to do? More lemonade? Asked Hubble helpfully. Then through the inky blackness, they saw a shape appear. An alien ship, Rory whispered, shivering in fear. The spaceship stopped. They held their breath. A door slid open wide. The two friends quaked and quivered. There was something weird inside. Great galaxies, just look at this, a cheerful alien cried. You two don't belong out here. We're lost, the friends replied. Oh, don't fret, the alien said. I know just what to do. Won't you step inside my splendid intergalactic zoo? I have gwolls and flarps and zingos, pogogs and bocktiburs, the most marvellous monsters in the whole universe. Rory pointed excitedly. I know that creature there. Aha! Exclaimed the alien. It's from, I'll show you where. But wait! Behind the alien, a fearsome creature loomed. Be careful, called out Hubble. Look behind you. Oh, we're doomed. The alien just chuckled as it gave the beast a squirt. With my Zorgon taming spray, you won't ever get hurt. It showed them where to head for and gave them the taming spray. The two friends both said thank you, and they quickly zoomed away. They raced through space until they reached a massive yellow sun. Around it, 8 amazing planets very slowly spun. But which one's home? Sighed Rory. Oh, he felt close to despair. People loved him down below, if only he knew where. His friend put out a kindly arm and said, don't be afraid. No matter how bad things may seem, there's lots of lemonade. Bleep, bleep. The two friends heard a sound. They saw a glint of light. A shiny space probe whirred right by and gave them both a fright. It saw them, stopped, shot out a beam, and scanned them head to toe. A robot and a human boy. It wailed, oh gracious no. You're not what I'm looking for, it told them rather sadly. My mission's to find aliens. It's going very badly. I've searched across the galaxy, and I've had 0 luck. Well, we're lost, Rory explained. Looks like we're all quite stuck. But if you're after aliens, then it's your lucky day. You'll find a whole zoo full of them, light years, back that way. Oh, thank you, bleeped the space probe. But wait, before I run, let me help you. Your home is Earth, 3rd planet from the sun. Then let's go, Rory declared, and quickly at the double. It's morning soon. If we're not back, there's going to be trouble. Down the two friends zoomed. Their ship got very hot inside. Lemonade, Hubble offered. Rory simply sighed. Splosh! It went into the ocean. Does this, Rory asked, confused, look much like home to you? It does seem wetter, his friend said, and much more fishy too. Fantastic creatures passed them by, all darting here and there. We belong here on this planet, said Rory, only where? Perhaps his friend said we should head for somewhere slightly drier, and up they flew into the light, higher, higher, higher. At last the two friends landed, then got out and looked around. Oh, yippee, Rory shouted, my feet, they're on the ground. Dazzling birds flew through the air. He watched strange creatures roam, but still he said, and shook his head, it doesn't look like home. Just then they heard a voice cry, help, someone, please help me. A gang of very hungry lions has chased me up this tree. Don't panic, called out Rory. Hold still, we'll save the day. And he carefully took aim using the Zorgon taming spray. Psh! An explorer climbed down from the tree. "Thank you," he declared. "Though I did have it under control, I wasn't really scared." "You sounded scared," Rory replied. "You were screaming a lot." "Screaming?" the explorer laughed. "Good heavens, I think not." "Anyway," he quickly said. He'd turned a shade of red. "Just what are you two doing here?" "We're lost," the two friends said. "Lost?" cried the explorer. "Goodness, that will never do." And, unfolding an enormous map, he said, "Let me help you. You see that flag there on your ship? It's from the UK, here." He pointed to it on the map. "You see, you're getting near." "Thank you," said the friends, "and now we really have to fly." They took the map and shot back up into the wide blue sky. On they flew until, at last, the UK far below. Rory asked his friend, "Now, do you know which way to go?" "Directions aren't my strong point," said Hubble, most dismayed. "I'm only built for friendship, well, and that lemonade." They raced on. It was getting light. Where was home? Where? It would be morning very soon. They had no time to spare. "Hold on," Rory cried, "down there. I've seen that place before." "Then home is that way," Hubble said. "At least, I'm pretty sure." But which one was their home? That one or that one over there? "There's my home," Rory cried out. "I'd know it anywhere." "We need to land, and quickly too. Morning's here already." "Land?" his friend said nervously. "Okay, I'll try. Hold steady." Crash! Their ship bounced off a roof. All systems went haywire. Inside filled up with thick grey smoke. And fire! 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 "Someone help," coughed Rory. He was feeling weak and dizzy. But look, Hubble's put the fire out with something very fizzy. "Sorry for crashing," Hubble sniffed. "I'm the worst robot ever." "No, you're not," Rory said. "Oh, you mustn't say that. Never. We got home safe and sound, thanks to your awesome lemonade. And you were there to comfort me each time I was afraid. I had you by my side from the beginning to the end. No, you're not the worst robot, but you are the greatest friend." Back home in bed, Rory thought of all the things he'd done. They had sometimes been quite scary, and sometimes loads of fun. Space was just amazing, full of dangers and delights. And Earth, it was incredible. There'd been some wondrous sights. Still, at times along the way, he'd felt so lost and small, so far from all the people who would miss him most of all. But here back home, where he belonged, one thing was for sure. In the whole entire universe, no boy could be loved more. That's a great book, The Incredible Intergalactic Journey Home. I hope you enjoyed reading it as much as I did. And now, from the International Space Station, it's time to say goodbye.
All right. So, how did you like those two stories? Yeah. Was the second astronaut, was he from the United States? No. So that's why it's the International Space Station, because everyone from all around the world sends astronauts up there. Or if they're from Russia, they're called cosmonauts. All right, so I'm going to put on a little video about the International Space Station, and then some more video that has pictures of space.
Hello, I'm Sunny Williams. I'm up here on the International Space Station. So this is Node 2. This is a really cool module. Of course, most of these modules you'll see they have 4 sides, and they're put together. That way we could sort of work on a flat plane, either a wall, a floor, another wall, or the ceiling. But you know, again, all you have to do is turn yourself and your reference changes. The reason I'm bringing that up is because this is where 4 out of 6 of us sleep. And so people always ask about sleeping in space. Do you lie down? Are you in a bed? Not really, because it doesn't matter. You don't really have the sensation of lying down. You just sit in your sleeping bag. So here's one sleep station right here. I'm going in right now. You can follow me if you want. So I'm inside. It's sort of like a little phone booth, but it's pretty comfy. I've got a sleeping bag right here that we sleep in, so we don't have sort of like a little bit of a cover. We don't fly all over the place. But you know, you can sleep in any orientation. I have it feeling like I'm standing up right now, but like you saw, I'm on the floor. But it doesn't matter if I turn over and I sleep upside down. I don't have any sensation in my head that tells me that I'm upside down, so it really doesn't matter. The sleep station is also like a little office. We've got a computer in here. As you can see, we've got a couple little toys. I've got some books. I've got some clothes and other things that make it sort of like home. I'm coming out. And just for reference, that's one sleep station. This one's another, right here. There's one on the ceiling, if you want to call it, right here. And then there's a 4th on the other wall over here. So all of us sleep in a little bit of a circle. All right, come on back. There's more to show you. I know that there's some questions about how to use the bathroom and how do you actually live in space like normal, like at home. I mentioned real quickly about getting up in the morning and brushing your teeth and washing your face. Well, how do you do that? Well, here is the bathroom, essentially. You get up in the morning and we have a little kit, and it has all the essential things that you need, like your toothbrush and toothpaste and brush. See how much better the brush makes my hair look? I'm just joking. It still stands up straight. It doesn't matter where you are. It's always going to stand up straight while you're up in space. A lot of people ask about toothbrush and toothpaste. So, luckily enough, toothpaste, you can do it upside right this way, is sticky, and so it sticks to your toothbrush. No problem. Another cool thing is that water sticks to your toothbrush too. If you can see it, I'll have some water come out. The water is pretty neat up in space. It'll stick to your toothbrush and it will make a big bubble. And that's just by surface tension. And then you can drink it. So a lot of people ask about what do you do with the toothpaste after you brush your teeth. Two options. Swallow it, and it's sort of like mouthwash, but it tastes a little gross. Or you can just spit it out in a paper towel, and then you don't have to worry about it. Swallowing thing I wouldn't recommend at home. I'm only up here for 4 months, so it's not that bad. One of the most pressing questions about living in space, of course, is the bathroom. So let's take a look at that little piece of work. Come on in. At the throne. This is awesome. You might see the little You might have noticed the little moon on the outside. This is our orbital outhouse right here. And of course, it serves for two functions. Number 2, right here. I'll show you. But you see it's pretty small, so you have to have pretty good aim, and you be ready to make sure things get let go the right direction. And it smells a little bit, so I'm closing it up. And that's, of course, for number 2. And this guy right here is for number 1. So they're sort of two slightly separate functions, but you can do a little, essentially both, by hanging on right here and doing number 1 and number 2. I might add it's color-coded, so you really don't get it mixed up, which is nice. This is yellows for number 1. And also, there's a selection of paper. People always ask about toilet paper. What do you do with toilet paper? What kind of toilet paper do you have? We have gloves, just because sometimes it does get messy. We have some Russian wipes, which are a little bit coarse if you like the coarse type of toilet paper. We have some nice tissues, which are nice and soft if you like soft toilet paper. We have Huggies, just for any cleanup. You know, we were all babies once, and this sort of helps. And then if things get really out of control, we have disinfectant wipes, just to make sure we clean up here. Because, you know, just like the water I showed you, the number 1 stuff can sort of go all over the place if you don't aim correctly. And did I mention both of these have a little bit of suction, so they should keep things going in the right direction. But like I said, sometimes things get a little out of control if you are out of control yourself flying around. So we have lots of protective stuff. And of course, you do have your privacy. There's a little door, so other people know that you're in there. Here's a pretty cool place. This is sort of like in your house where everybody meets in the morning. After you wash your face, brush your teeth, you want to find something for breakfast. And this is our kitchen. You might notice there's all sorts of foods here. It's like opening the refrigerator. You got all your different stuff that you want to have: drinks, meats, eggs, vegetables, cereals, bread, snacks, and that's a good place. That's where you find all the candy. Side dishes, and then some little power bars just in case. So we have all this type of food. Some of it is dehydrated, and so we have to hydrate it, fill it up with water. Some of it is already made, and then all we have to do is heat it up. So something like this, I'm pulling out barbecued beef brisket. Pretty yummy. Not only is this food made in the U.S., but we also have food here from Japan. We've got Russian food. As you can see, all these red containers are filled with food that's from Russia. And then we get some of our specialty stuff, some things that we like, some of our favorite stuff that your family can send up. In fact, I like fluffernutters, and so I got sent up some fluff so I could make my fluffernutter with peanut butter. So you have a lot of food up here, no problems. Now, I want to say where we are. So right now, we're in the Japanese laboratory. It's one laboratory out of many here on the International Space Station. It's actually on the left-hand side. If I was the International Space Station and I was flying through space like this, my left hand would be where the Japanese laboratory is. So now again, we're on the right-hand side, all the way on the right of the International Space Station. This is Columbus, the European module. It has science experiments all over. You could see it looks a little bit crowded. And here we do a lot of our medical experiments. In the U.S. laboratory. Again, this is a laboratory with science experience on all of the walls here, all sorts of stuff that we do. And one of the things we also do is we exercise. We have some exercise equipment on board the space station. We need to do that because we lose bone density and muscle mass while we're up here, and that's a result of not having to fight against gravity. So how we keep ourselves in shape are with a bike, a treadmill, and a weightlifting machine. This is the bike. You notice the clip pedals. So all you need to do is actually clip your feet in, and then you can start pedaling. You don't need a seat because you don't sit down. Actually, I haven't sat down for 6 months now, so you don't need any type of seat. Just make sure you're held in with your pedals. You probably see that the bike bounces around a little bit. As I move it, it's not steady and held to the wall firmly. And the reason for that is the space station is pretty big. You saw that there's also solar arrays on the space station. If we start putting any forces into the space station, it's going to make those solar arrays bounce around a little bit. So to prevent that, the machines bounce around a little bit, move around a little bit, and that way we don't put any forces onto the structure of the spacecraft out to the solar arrays. All right, a little farther on. Come on. I'm here with my two buddies in the airlock. Actually, these are two spacesuits that are ready, primed up to go outside, as we call it, to go do a spacewalk in case we have to do anything outside. Some of the things we do outside are just like inside repairs. We have a lot of electrical boxes and machinery and solar arrays, in fact, that I talked about earlier, that are outside, and sometimes they don't work quite right. Remember, space is really cold and really hot, and it's also the vacuum of space with no pressure, and so some of the equipment doesn't work well all the time. So we might have to go out and do a spacewalk. Right behind me is actually the hatch that you go out into space, and right now we have it filled up with a couple other spacesuits because we've got 4 of them up here and some of our tools. But right behind here is the hatch in which you actually go right outside into the vacuum of space.